Good morning. Let's start the daily discussion. First topic is India's strategic challenge in the face of Chinese rise. Okay, China is this article discusses the evolving strategic rivalry between India and China, focusing on the challenges India faces due to China's growing economic and military might. Okay, it emphasizes the need for India to develop a comprehensive strategy to address the power asymmetry and protect its interest. So the key aspect of the Sino-Indian strategic and economic asymmetric Sino-Indian rivalry, the Sino-Indian okay. What is the key aspect? Asymmetric Sino-Indian rivalry. The Sino-Indian rivalry is both strategic and asymmetric. China surpasses India in economic development, military modernization, technology and innovation, with a gap of 3 to 5 times in various indices in all aspects like economy, like development, like military modernization, like use of technology in the domain of innovation. Economic asymmetry, China is India's largest trading partner, but this has led to a widening trade deficit for India. Additionally, China's growing trade relations with India's neighbor complicate the economic relationship between the two countries. Nuclear capability, China is purportedly doubling Okay, so nuclear capability, China is reportedly doubling its nuclear arsenal, upgrading its missile capability. China closes the gap with the US. India finally had to match Chinese growing nuclear power. This rivalry impact the Sino-Indo-Pakistan nuclear balance and India's efforts to achieve parity with China. Space program, China has a head start and more resources for its space program compared to India. Closing the gap between the space program of India and China will be a very big challenge for India. Conventional forces, conventional forces, the material gap between Chinese and Indian forces are significant. With China's military budget nearly 3 times larger than India's, for example, Indian Navy is about one third the size of China and will remain smaller even with future expansion of China in the card. What are the reasons behind territorial contestation between China and India? Challenges at the line of actual control. The line of actual control is unclear and complex, causing frequent skirmishes and risk. Current confidence building measures are weakening and falling to ensure peace until borders are clearly defined. Conflicts and violations are likely to continue. Factors shaping PLA strategy along the LSC: expansion of road and rail infrastructure in Tibet and the Jiang for quick troop movement. So China is massive infrastructure development program. improved support infrastructure, electricity, water, and for the troops, and nice making arrangement. A new joint theatre command enabling large-scale integrated use of PLA forces, People Liberation Army forces. The development enhanced the PLA's ability to operate effectively in challenging conditions and respond swiftly in the crisis period. Okay, so PLA tactics. The PLA gradually asserts its claims using Indian responses as a region to escalate tension. When the standoff reaches a deadlock, they seek negotiations and disengagement. The strategy is to achieve dominance without engaging direct conflict. They go on creating trouble and aggravate the situation. Then, once it get aggravated, they enter into negotiation to find a solution to this. What should be the way forward? New agreement. A new agreement is needed to address flaws in current protocols, manage risk-taking behavior, adapt to new technology, and handle modern military issues like disengagement and troop reduction. Addressing the strategic gap with China, the power asymmetry between China and India, which may shift depending on India's progress and China's trajectory. India's timeline to catch up with China, particularly by 2035 and 2049, to avoid being outpaced. Bridging the strategic gap requires political direction, economic reforms, military enactments, enhancement, and a clear security strategy. Efforts must be intensified to strengthen India's position in this regard. Okay, then what India should do? Okay, defense preparedness. India should ramp up indigenous capacity for strategic intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, strengthen strategic infrastructure along with the Himalayas, develop life-sustaining troop infrastructure, including high-quality habitat, electricity, broadband, water and oil pipelines, identify and acquire weapon platforms suited for extreme terrain and climatic conditions, maintain high readiness levels among the broader troops for quick response to the border infractions. Okay, because India and China. Okay, so they have to as India and China share a longest border line, so international border. So both the sides should try to. So India should try to develop its infrastructure in the borders. So it will be coming to the help of Indian troop in its movement, because with as China is developing its. then maintain high readiness level among border troops for quick response to border infections. Create the opposition agile and effective regions for timely deployment of the troops. So India should take these steps. The next is hype around new weight loss and diabetes drug like the Ozempic, Saxenda, Wegovy and Webbound. The article discusses the hype around new weight loss and diabetes drugs like the Ozempic, Saxenda, Wegovy and the Zepbound. These drugs promise significant weight loss and health benefits but are expensive, have potential side effects and may not work for everyone. True health requires diet and exercise. With the hype around the new weight loss drugs promising results, the new weight loss drugs, primarily the GLP-1 receptor agonist, offer significant weight loss between 15% to 24% of body weight comparable to bariatric surgery results. High expectations, they are marketed as a breakthrough in combating obesity and diabetes, offering protection against major health issues like heart disease. Widespread attention, major pharmaceutical companies like the Novo Nordisk, Eli Lilly have seen their market capitalization soar, with Novo Nordisk reaching over 570 billion, surpassing the Danish economy. Rising demand, despite supply shortages, the demand for these drugs has surged, driven by societal pressure and the allure of easy weight loss, pushing drug prices higher and fueling a grey market. But the major concern to these drugs, side effect, users report severe nausea, vomiting, stomach paralysis and depression. Some evidence like these drugs to thyroid cancer and pancreatitis is in individual with certain genetic histories. Long-term risk, side effects may take up to decades to fully emerge, creating uncertainty about the long-term safety. Shift in focus, originally intended for diabetes, the emphasis has shifted to weight loss, raising concern about the true intent of these drugs. Because these drugs were initially developed for diabetes but subsequently looking at their benefit for the weight loss, which is a very big issue right now. So they have been completely focused to the weight and promoted as okay. An economic and body image issue. Body image issue. These drugs may promote the unhealthy obsession with thinness, overlooking the complex cause of obesity like hormonal imbalance and the mental health issue. The true health requires a balance of diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes. And these drugs can help those with morbid obesity. They are not a cure all. They may lead to unrealistic expectations and unhealthy focus on the body image. So, if healthy body needs good food or good diet, balanced diet, regular exercise, and a change in the lifestyle. If these things are taken care of, the body will manage on its own. No need to worry for the obesity. Issue of illegal coal mining in India. The article discusses the issue of illegal coal mining in India, highlighting recent workers' death due to unsafe conditions. They explain that high coal demand, poverty, weak regulation, and political support contribute to the prevalence of illegal mining despite government efforts. What is the history of coal mining in India? Nationalization of the phases. Coal mining was nationalized in two phases: coking coal in 1971-72 and non-coking coal in 1973. That means entire coal mining activity has been taken under the government control. That is their nationalization. Central legislation, the Coal Mines Nationalization Act 1973 governs coal mining eligibility. State responsibility, illegal mining is a law and order issue, making state government responsible for addressing it. Persistent issue, despite nationalization, illegal mining remain prevalent due to high coal demand and local economic dependence. For example, recent incidents include workers' death in Gujarat, Jharkhand and West Bengal, highlighting ongoing illegal mining activities. Why is illegal coal mining common in India? High coal demand. Coal meets 55% of the India's energy needs, often outstripping legal supply, promoting illegal mining. Poverty and unemployment. Coal-rich areas often face poverty and unemployment, driving locals to illegally mine the coals and sell it in the illegal market, black market for coal. Weak regulation. In remote areas, inadequate monitoring and resources led to weak enforcement of mining regulations that led to illegal coal mining. Then coal mafia. Illegal mining is often controlled by the coal mafia, supported by local authority, as seen in the multiple cases. Then political support. Allegations suggest political leaders support illegal coal mining. For instance, Assam, the BJP leaders are accused of backing the illegal coal operation in the area. Then economic dependency. Coal economies depend on mining. The local economy depend on mining, making illegal operation lucrative once the legal mine is closed. So once the legal mining activity in area is closed, then the leftover coals in the area are put to illegal mine activities. What makes illegal coal mining dangerous? Lack of safety equipment. Workers often lack helmets, masks and other safety gears, leading to fatality from toxic gas inhalation, as seen in that Surendranagar incident recently. Structural risk. Illegal mines lack proper support, causing cave-ins and landslides, as occurred in Jharkhand and West Bengal. Toxic exposure. Miners face high level of toxic substances like lead and mercury, increasing their health risk because they are not able to get the necessary support or the safeguards. Okay, the safety requirements. Okay, so our safety equipments are there called as untrained workers. Many workers are untrained, lacking the emergency response skill. Operator negligence. Exploitation and negligence by the mine operators worsen the danger because the illegal mine operators don't put any focus or attention to the requirement of the workers. Why it is hard to stop illegal mining? Stop illegal mining is challenging because it is mainly a state issue. The central government often passes responsibility to the state authority because although mining is by the central control, but the illegal mining activity is a law and order issue and under the control of the state government, and center left it to the states. The complex legal framework governing mining creates bureaucratic challenges, so it is leading to low enforcement. Economic dependence on mining in local community perpetuates the cycle of illegal mining. The next is SEBI's proposed new asset class for mutual funds. The Securities and Exchange Board of India has proposed a new asset class for the mutual fund investors to bridge the gap between portfolio management scheme and traditional mutual funds. What are the key features of the proposed asset class? Investment thresholds. The proposed minimum investment in 10 lakhs, placing it between regular mutual funds and the PMS. PMS stands for Portfolio Management Scheme, which requires rupees 50 lakh minimum. Fund management requirements. The AMC, asset management company, must appoint chief investment officer with at least 10 years of experience managing asset of 5,000 crore or more. Additional fund managers should have at least 7 years of experience handling 33,000 crore or more. The AMC itself must have been operational for at least 3 years with an asset of 10,000 crore or more. Investment option and flexibility. These funds will offer systematic investment plans, systematic withdrawal plans, and systematic transfer plans similar to traditional mutual funds. Fund managers will have the flexibility to use derivative strategy for purchases beyond hedging. Branding and investor awareness. The new asset classes will have a unique branding to stand out from the low risk mutual funds and ensure investor clarity. Redemption and liquidity. More flexibility in the tailoring redemption frequency to manage the liquidity constraints. Proposal to list units on stock exchanges like exchange traded funds for easier entry and exit. Investment strategies. This new class of funds will use long short portfolio to benefit from both rising and falling share prices and may create inverse ETFs that move opposite to the benchmark ETF. Exchange ETF stands for exchange traded funds. Okay, so investment strategy. This new class of funds will use long short portfolio to benefit from both rising and falling share prices and may create inverse ETF exchange traded funds that move opposite to the benchmark exchange traded funds. What are the significance of the proposed new asset class on mutual funds? Meeting investors' needs. It creates to investors with higher risk appetites and financial capabilities to offering them regulated access to high risk, high return strategies. Combating unauthorized schemes. It will minimize the attraction of unregistered and unauthorized entities that promise unrealistic returns by establishing a regulated environment. Investor protection. It offers a modicum of protection to investors who might otherwise be drawn to unregulated schemes. Market gap fulfillment. It offers a regulated choice for investor looking for high risk strategies filling up the market gap. So SEBI's proposed new asset class for mutual funds represents a significant development in India's financial. Okay. SEBI and exchanges will have to manage increased derivatives volumes and improve surveillance and the margin systems. Then the environmental impact of artificial intelligence. AI has potential to transform climate change efforts. However, Google's actual environment report revealed a 13% increase in the emission footprint in 2023 compared to the previous year. This rise was mainly attributed to increased electricity consumption on data centers and supply chain due to the growing deployment of uses of AI tools. What are the reasons for higher energy consumption of AI models? Performing complex operation. They perform more complex operations than simple search engine. Even when addressing the same query, they process vast amount of data while formulating appropriate responses, resulting in more electrical signals for data processing, storage and the retrieval, which uses more electricity. Heat generation and cooling requirement. The increased computational work generates more heat, requiring stronger cooling system in data centers and increasing energy use. What are the environmental impact of artificial intelligence? Enhance electricity demand. Data centers currently uses 1% to 1.3% of global electricity, and this could increase to 1.5% to 3% by 2026. According to the International Energy Agency, in some countries, data center use over 10% of national electricity. In Ireland, it's 18% due to tax incentives, while in USA it ranges from 1.3 to 4.5%. Energy intensive AI requires, like those of the chat GPT, use 10 to 33 times more energy than a regular Google search, with image based searches being even more energy intensive. Water resource concern. There is increasing concern about the water used for cooling data centers. For instance, a data center of OpenAI's GPT-4 in Loya used 6% of the local water supply in July 2022. That means more water is used for the cooling system in the AI centers. What should be the way forward? Need for sustainable planning. As India adopts AI technology, experts stress the need for careful planning to reduce environmental impact. This means data centers should use efficient processes and minimize the emissions. Benefit of AI in emission reduction. Studies suggest that widespread AI use in corporate and industrial practices could cut global emissions by 5 to 10% by 2030, according to Boston Consulting Group. Okay, so monitoring and predicting. AI can cut emission by monitoring, predicting, and optimizing processes to reduce waste and inefficiencies. The National Mission for Manuscripts. The National Mission for Manuscripts aims to document, conserve, digitize, and disseminate India's manuscript heritage, because we have a very rich traditional ancient heritage, that that tradition of heritage of the manuscripts, because everything was in the manuscripts form. The National Mission for Manuscripts is an autonomous body under the Culture Ministry. It launched in 2003. The National Mission for Manuscript mandate includes identifying, documenting, conserving, and making accessible India's manuscript heritage. The manuscript encompass a variety of themes, textures, aesthetics, scripts, languages, calligraphies, illuminations, and the illustrations. The National Mission on Manuscripts motto is conserving the past for the future. The past, which are the manuscripts, need to be preserved for the future generation. Approximately 75% of the existing manuscripts are in Sanskrit, while 25% are in regional languages. The National Manuscript Mission has digitized 3.3 lakh manuscripts containing about 3.1 crore folios. Over 1.8 lakh manuscripts have been uploaded, but only about 70,000 are available online for public access. The mission has documented approximately 5.2 million manuscripts across India. The mission has conserved 990 million folios of manuscripts. The mission has digitized 3.5 lakh manuscripts amounting to 3.5 crore pages. The mission has uploaded 1.4 lakh manuscripts on the web portal, out of which 75,000 manuscripts are available online for free access to researchers and the public. The mission has conducted over 100 conservation workshops. The mission has published more than 100 books since its inception, with the list of these publications available in Annexure 1. The mission has established over 100 manuscript resource centers and manuscript conservation centers across India. Then next is the revamped model skill loan scheme. The revamped the previous regime saw low uptake due to low maximum loan limit and increasing course fee. Data show that loans amounting to 115.75 crore were extended to 10,077 borrowers until March 31st this year. The revised model skill loan scheme aims to provide better financial support for skill development courses, addressing previous limitations and expanding access to wider range of courses and institutions. New features: the loan scheme now includes non-banking financial companies, NBFC MFIs, microfinance institutions, and small finance banks as eligible lending institutions in addition to private, public, and the foreign banks. The revised scheme will cover more skill courses, including non-NSQF National Skill Qualification Framework courses that are onboarded on the Skill India Digital Hub platform. Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship emphasized the need for adapting to future technologies and job market changes. The government is strategically country's future up to 2047, aiming to have a significant impact on the job market and people's lives through these revised schemes. The maximum loan limit has been increased to 7.5 lakh from the previous 1.5 lakh. The revised scheme is expected to help 25,000 students annually. Then no pollution control permit for the white category sectors. The Ministry of Environment has issued draft notification proposing the removal of certain pollution control So the Ministry of Environment has issued a draft notification proposing the removal of certain pollution control permits for white category industries. These industries are considered practically non-polluting and include projects like wind and solar power, air cooler assembly and bicycle assembly. Consent to establish and consent to operate CTE and the CTO. These permits previously required under the Air Act 1981 and Water Act 1974 are used to regulate industries discharging effluents or emitting pollutants. The ministry proposes to eliminate the city permit for projects needing prior environmental clearance. Condition of the CTE might be emerged with the environmental clearance granted by the ministry. Impact on industries. Industry in the white category are defined by a pollution index score up to 20. These industries are exempt from the requirement of CTE or the CTO permits. Sector that fall under the category includes wind and solar power, project, air cooler assembly and the bicycle assembly. The Ministry of Environment has issued two draft notifications under the Air Act 1981 and the Water Act 1974. The public is invited to submit comments and objections on these notifications within 60 days for their issuance. Industries that are exempt from the CTE or the CTO permits must inform the state pollution control boards about their operation through self-declarations as stated in the draft notifications. The permissions, officially known as consent to establish and the consent to operate, are granted to regulate The permissions, officially known as consent to establish and consent to operate, are granted to regulate industry that discharge effluent or emit pollutant into the environment. The CTE permit is required before construction activity commences and the CTO permit is required before operation begins. These permits ensure adherence to pollution norms by imposing standards for specific conditions. In the United States of Canada, resulting in 4 deaths, 2 in each country, and several hospitalizations. Listeria monocytogenes is a type of bacteria found in soil, water, vegetation, and animal feces, which can lead to an infection called the listeriosis when ingested through contaminated food. Symptoms of listeriosis include vomiting, nausea, cramps, severe headache, constipation, and fever, and can appear up to 2 months after consuming the contaminated food. High risk group of listeriosis include immunocompromised individuals, pregnant women, and the elderly, with the median age in the US outbreaking being 75. Pregnant women are particularly vulnerable, being 100 times more likely to develop a listeria infection, which can lead to pregnancy losses, premature birth, life-threatening infection in the newborns. Treatment and prevention. Treatment of listeriosis depends on the severity of the infection. Mild cases where the bacteria remains in the intestine may resolve with standard treatment for stomach infections, including antibiotics. However, if the infection spreads beyond the intestine, it leads to invasive erythrosis, preserving severe symptoms 2 weeks after consuming the contaminated food. Then, bioplastic from the cassava. In Nagaland, smallholder farmers are producing compostable bioplastics back from the cassava starch, setting an example reducing the plastic use. Okay, so this initiative, supported by the Northeastern Center for Technology Application and Research, has led to EcoStrach, a local MSME aimed to replace single-use plastics with biodegradable alternatives. Okay, so class. Uh, this initiative, supported by the Northeast Center of Technology Application and Research, and led to EcoStrach, a local MSME aims to replace single-use plastics with biodegradable alternatives. This initiative promotes the concept of cassava village to boost the local economy, provide alternative livelihoods, and generate employment, especially for local youth and women self-help groups. EcoStrach plans to expand its operation to include biodegradable films and bags for food packaging, further enhancing local employment opportunities. Lesson that can be learned: sustainable alternative using local available resources. Okay, so community involvement, empowering women self-help group and local youth, enhance community engagement and foster inclusive growth. Economic empowerment, developing the cassava village boost the local economy by providing alternative livelihood and generating employment. Scalability and expansion, expanding products lines can create more jobs and cater to a broader market, further enhancing local economic benefits. Then the Sangameswara temple, the ancient Sangameswara temple in the Kurnool district of Andhra Pradesh, is once again submerged due to recent heavy rains and reaching water level in the Srisalim projects. The Sangameswara temple, dedicated to Lord Shiva, recently been submerged in the backwater of the Srisalam project in the Naidal districts due to heavy inflow from the Krishna river. The temple was originally built in 740 AD by the Chalukya ruler Pulakeshin II on the Krishna river bank. It was originally situated where the Tungabhadra and the Krishna river merge 100 km from its current location. To prevent submersion from the Srisalam Dam's construction, the temple was dismantled and rebuilt at its current site in 1979, maintaining its historical and religious significance. Then coming to the question and answer, local job reservation politics implemented by various states have sparked debate on federalism and economic disparities. Critically examine the causes and implications of such policies and suggest measures to address regional aspirations while maintaining national unity. The Karnataka State Employment and Local Candidate in the Industry, Factory and Other Establishment Bill 2024, mandating local job reservation, has sparked a significant controversy and debate. This policy underscores the tension between regional aspirations and national unity, highlighting the complexity of federalism and economic disparity in India. Debate on federalism and economic disparity, federal structure and state autonomy, local job reservation challenge, the balance between state autonomy and national cohesion. For example, Karnataka's 2024 bill mandates 50% and 70% reservation in management category and non-management category respectively, raising concern about state prioritizing regional employment over national integration. Economic inequality, such policy may exacerbate economic disparities by favoring residents of wealthier states. For example, wealthier states like Maharashtra implementing local reservation may marginalize workers from other states, deepening regional economic divisions in the country. Interstate migration, restricting job opportunity to locals can hinder interstate migration, crucial for labor mobility and economic growth. For example, Haryana's policy preserves 75% of private sector job for local, restrict opportunity for migrants, affecting labor market dynamics in the neighboring states. Concept of local job reservation policy, state government face pressure to prioritize local employment to appease the voter. Karnataka policy aim to address local unemployment concern amid rising joblessness among its own youth. And economic distress, high unemployment and economic distress drive states to implement local reservation. For instance, states with significant economic disparities adopt job reservation policy to mitigate local economic challenges. Skill mismatch, state implement reservation to bridge the gap between local skill and the industry requirements. Tamil Nadu's policy encourages industry to hire locals, aiming to reduce skill mismatch and boost regional employment. Electoral considerations, politicians use local job reservation as an electoral strategy to gain local support. For instance, decision of states to reserve job for local ahead of election reflect electoral motivations behind such policies. Regional identity, emphasis on preserving regional identity and culture influences job reservation policies. For example, in some states, policies aim to protect local identity by reserving jobs for indigenous populations. Implication of local job reservation policy, labor market fragmentation. Local reservation can fragment the national labor market, reducing efficiency. For instance, this policy can disrupt the labor market by limiting the pool of available workers to locals only. Economic inefficiency, restricting job opportunity can lead to inefficiency and hinder economic growth. For example, limiting industry to hire locals may result in a skill shortage affecting the productivity. Social tension, such policy may fuel social tension and discrimination against non-locals. This policy can lead to tension between local and migrant workers, creating social discord. Impact on industries, industry may face challenges in finding suitable talent, affecting their operations. Legal and constitutional issue, local reservation raise legal and constitutional concerns about freedom and movement and equality. Measures to address regional aspirations while maintaining national unity, balanced development, promote balanced regional development to reduce economic disparities. Okay. So initiative like the aspirational district program, aspirational block program aims to boost development in lagging regions, reducing the need for local reservation. Skill development program, enhance skill development program to make the local workforce more competitive. For example, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana train local youth, improving their employability without needing job reservation. Inclusive growth policies, implement policy promoting inclusive growth and equitable distribution of resources. Interstate collaboration, foster interstate collaboration to address employment challenges collectively. For example, regional council can facilitate collaboration between states like Gujarat and Maharashtra to address mutual employment needs. Legal and policy framework, develop a legal and policy framework to ensure local reservation comply with constitutional principles. For example, guidelines ensures job reservation do not infringe on constitutional rights, can harmonize state policies with national unity. Public-private partnership, collaborative projects between the government and private sector can lead to establishment of industries in underdeveloped regions, creating the jobs. Local job reservation policy, while addressing regional employment concern, pose significant challenge to federalism and economic cohesion. Balancing regional aspirations with national unity requires inclusive growth, enhanced skill development, and interstate collaboration in this manner. Then coming to the MCQ, consider the following statement. So the seventh schedule of the Constitution gives states the exclusive power to make law relating to taxes on mineral rights subject to any limitation imposed by Parliament by law relating to mineral development. Statement to Union List gives the centre the power to regulate power over regulation of mines and mineral development. So in this, so both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and but statement 2 is not an explanation of statement 1. That means so B is the right option. Which of the following statement about the consequences of illegal coal mining are correct? Illegal coal mining contribute to flourishing the coal economy but also several negative effects. So here, right, illegal coal mining operations. Hello. Hello. Class 5 minutes call करो. Illegal coal mining operations often lead to environmental degradation and safety hazards. The enforcement of strict mining regulations has significantly reduced but not completely eradicated illegal coal mining in India. All the 1, 2, 3 are correct here. So consider the following statement regarding the pollution index for the industrial sector. The pollution index is a numerical scale ranging from 0 to 100, where a higher value indices indicate a higher level of pollution load from the industrial sector. The index is exclusively determined based on the concentration of the 5 pollutants, namely ozone, nitrous oxide, sulfur dioxide, PM2.5 and the PM10. Industrial sector having pollution index score 80 and above are in white category. Here only one is correct. Consider the following statement regarding the listeria. Listeria monocytogenesis is found in the soil, vegetation, water, sewage and feces of animal and humans, right? Listeria monocytogenes cannot survive more than 3 days in the infected person's system. Wrong. Pregnant women are more likely to develop the listeria infections compared to the general population. So 1 and 3 are correct. C. Consider the following statement about the cassava. It is a root vegetable that is minor source of carbohydrates. That's right. It primarily grows in temperate regions of the world. Only one is correct. Then consider the following statement about the Krishna River. It originates in the Western Ghats near the Mahabaleshwara. It empties into the Arabian Sea. Here only one is correct. With reference to the Union Budget 2024-25, consider the following statement. It introduced as financial incentive for companies to hire more people. Yes, import duty on all electronic goods were raised to 40% to promote domestic manufacturing. No, this is wrong. Consider the following statement. Royalty paid by mining lease holders to the state government are not considered taxes, right? They are royalties. The central government can levy taxes on lands and quarry where minerals are found. No, this is wrong. Only one is correct. Then consider the following statement. Coal is the most abundant fossil fuel in India, right? The Coal Mines National Act 73 governs coal mining in India, right? The central government is primarily responsible for the addressing illegal mining issued the state government, not the central government. Only 1 and 2 are right. That means A. Consider the following statement. The Kaladan Multimodal Transit Transport Project, a component of the India Artist policy, aims to connect Manipur with Myanmar. That is incorrect. The Artist policy focuses on the Southeast Asian country, non East Asian country. So both 1 and 2 are correct. That means neither 1 nor 2 is correct. Thank you for observing that. Watching the watch regular to update yourself. Thank you again.